Dinesh, in the sea of almost illimitable human imagination that has created tens of thousands of religions, which is the right one?
Mine.
Yours?
Mine.
How do you know?
By doing my best, as we all do, to try to bring our beliefs into line with reality, to look and see which hypothesis makes the most sense of the world to us.
I'll do what Sean did. Give me like your best argument for why the Christian religion is the right one and all the others are wrong. Just like your favorite number one. I know there's 5 or 10 or...
That would be like me asking you to give your favorite argument for evolution. It's too complex to answer that way, but I'll give a single example that clarifies the point. You gave a melange of accounts of creation in your earlier account. What you didn't note is that unique of all the religions, the Jews and the Christians assert that the universe was created from nothing. In other religions, God or gods fashioned the universe out of some other existing stuff. But the notion that the universe came from nothing and had a beginning is asserted uniquely by Judaism and taken up by Christianity. Now that is something that it would seem has been spectacularly affirmed or confirmed 2,000 years later by modern science, that the universe had a beginning, that space and time had a beginning, and that not only before the beginning, that even the word before is meaningless. So this is a unique assertion of Judaism and Christianity, which refuted the Greek idea that nothing could come out of nothing.
Okay, so the cosmological argument is your favorite argument.
Well,
now,
it's not my favorite argument, it's an example that counters yours.
Yeah, that's okay, that's fine. But you already said that science is delimiting, it's restricted, we don't know for sure. Most cosmologists, as we've seen, don't believe in, they either don't believe in God or they're certainly not Christians. So apparently that argument doesn't hold water with those who know the most about that particular subject. So if science is not the best way, or if science is not the only tool, what other means do you gather information to come to conclusions? How do you know something is right or wrong, for example? What do you...
There's historical evidence, philosophical evidence, empirical evidence. I mean, let me give you an example. If we went to a village of 100 people, and 95% of them said, we happen to know this guy named Bill. And there were 5 guys, of which 3 of them said, we've never heard of Bill, and 2 of them said, there's no Bill. There's no such person. We think the other 95 people made him up. They're hallucinating. We'd have to ask as outsiders, what's more likely? That the 95% of people are hallucinating, or that the other 5 guys just don't know Bill? So these are ways, not scientific ways, but human ways, experiential ways, empirical ways, in which we try to determine facts out of the fog of data out there.
Okay, so in your worldview in which science is not everything, and we all make assumptions, what's your biggest assumption you make?
Well, the biggest assumption I make is that there is some explanation for all of this. In other words, here we have nature, and nature has laws. There's a lot of intelligence embedded into nature. That's what we call laws. It takes very smart people to excavate that intelligence out. So you can just posit dogmatically, that's what there is, and it doesn't require any further explanation. It is its own explanation. Nature accounts for itself.
Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible?
Trying to finish. Okay.
Well, do you think it's? I'm just carrying that on. Do you think it's possible that my assumption that the causal arrow stops at where we are just where our knowledge hits, and we just don't know beyond that? That your assumption that there is one more step beyond that called God is an assumption that's not testable or even provable?
Not only well, first of all, I accept that, but I want to point out how it defeats your side of the debate. You have the burden of proving that your assumptions refute mine.
But isn't it okay to say, I don't know, nobody knows for now, we're just not going to create a whole belief based on something we don't know?
Well, your earlier statement I agree with. We don't know. Obviously, if we're talking about the original cause of the universe, what comes after death, I am as agnostic about that as you are on the basis of reason alone. Yes, your conclusion doesn't follow from your premise. When you don't know something for sure, if I'm dating a girl, after a year I'm trying to decide if I should propose. I put in all the data I know, but if I were to ask myself, well, what is life going to be like with this woman for the next 50 years? I don't know. I can say, I'll be an agnostic. I'll wait for the data to come in. But if I keep waiting, she'll marry someone else, so we'll both be dead.